Welcome to the Oscars Cheat Sheet Miniseries. Why bother having an opinion on this year's Best Picture nominees when you can just use ours? Welcome everybody to the Cult Popture podcast, where you are joining us for our Oscars Cheat Sheet mini-series, where we discuss all the films that have been nominated for Best Picture at the 2022 Oscars. You can look on our feed, you'll see us talking about all the different movies. I am AJ, and I am joined by Richard and my actor/friend, our actor/friend, Aaron.
No, yours fine.
I am joined by actor/friend Aaron and co-host/king Richard.
Thank you very much.
He's not my king, to be honest, but the movie we're talking about on this episode is King Richard. My own King Richard. Hey King. Hey King.
Go off, King.
Your crown's slipping. You dropped this. What is King Richard? What is it? What is it? What is
it? Yeah, good question. So King Richard, directed by Reynaldo Marcus Green, stars Will Smith as Richard Williams, the father and coach of a couple of players you might have heard of. Venus and Serena Williams, obviously famous for having a pretty easy life, only competing against women. That's a little Jane Campion joke for you.
That is a joke. We'll talk about that on the Power of the Dog episode.
Yeah, we're very clearly signposting that is going to have a callback, so it's fine.
I'm embracing callbacks now. The whole fucking thing's a callback.
So this, based on a true story. Obviously, there's embellishments, as there always is. But Will Smith plays.
For example, he wasn't actually a king in real life.
Yeah, his name actually wasn't Richard. It was Richard. Yeah, so it's like essentially this guy has written out the plan for his two daughters' entire life and their tennis career, and there's no fucking way in hell he's deviating from that plan in any way. And yeah, it sort of tells a story. They end up they do like juniors tournaments for a little bit, but then he says no more juniors tournaments, and I want you coached by Jennifer Capriati's coach, and they end up moving and all this stuff. So the whole thing is like, obviously you know where the story is ending up because you've heard of Venus and Serena Williams from Jane Campion's acceptance speech.
I heard they didn't have that much trouble. I'm surprised there was enough content to make a movie about it.
But yeah, you also got Sania Sidney and Demi Singleton play Venus and Serena Williams. You've also got John Bernthal as Rick Macy, who's becomes their coach. Dylan McDermott's in it as well.
Very new role for John Bernthal. Very different.
Yeah,
we'll
kind of we'll talk about that because you're a John Bernthal fan, Aaron?
Who dat?
He's Rick Macy, the coach. I'll
bring up a photo. You got to bring up this photo, baby.
Netflix is The Punisher.
Yes. What else have I seen him in?
Sorry, Disney Plus is The Punisher. I beg your pardon.
Disney's The Punisher. Classic title. Classic Disney title.
Oh, yeah. So he's in Wolf of Wall Street, Sicario, Baby Driver, Wind River, Widows, 4v Ferrari, King Richard,
Walking Dead. That's when I first saw him.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I've certainly recall having seen him. He's like a good actor, but there's something about his like kind of method type approach that I don't know, is kind of like pushes you away rather than pulls you in. So, yeah. But I would say maybe his performance in King Richard is the like first one I've seen where I'm like, yeah, that's a likable guy. He's not just like playing an asshole.
Yeah,
I mean, he kind of is playing a bit of an asshole, but
yeah,
like, he plays a likable guy in King Richard.
Yeah, and it was also funny that like there's like 3 or 4 movies where he like shows up in one scene and then dies, and so it was nice to see him not die in this film, but. And I won't say what those films are because it'll be spoilers for those films. But you
have to watch every John Bernthal movie to know what we mean.
But it is a fun role for him, and it's like he's not playing like a tough guy asshole or anything like that. He's just like he's just a dude.
Yeah.
Speaking of assholes though, so I watched this film on the plane recently.
On my asshole.
And so it was one that I like kind of had to give my full undivided attention to, which, you know, isn't necessarily every film.
A movie I did not know existed until it was nominated for the Oscar.
But that's not true of me. That's AJ speaking for
Well,
himself.
you only because it's got your name in it.
Well, yeah, I've got to Google all that for the word Richard. But I found this movie. I found this movie so frustrating and just so. I found Richard so annoying and just
I know the feeling.
so stubborn and
yeah.
and just so stubborn and like such an infuriating character but it's like everyone's telling him it's like, no, this is what's best for them. They need to be competing in junior tournaments. They need to be training and all this stuff. But it's like, you know, the movie wants you to side with him and you know he's going to be proven right because he's not shifting and it's fucking Venus and Serena Williams. Like, knowing where the film is going I found so frustrating because it's like, I know he's right, but I'm so annoyed at him.
I hate him.
I was listening to the Frickin' Dangerous Bro podcast once, another podcast on our Little Empire network. And in it, I think Pax Asadi was talking about his own daughters, and he was talking about how, like, he could, if he wanted to, he could push them and train them to be, say, the best at basketball, and train them their whole life to be the best at basketball at the detriment of his relationship with them, right? So that by the time they're adults, they're really fucking great at basketball, but they no longer have, like, a sustainable relationship with him. And he said, and you know what? I kind of feel like that would maybe be worth it. And this is that movie, I think. I mean, the relationship doesn't necessarily fall apart, but it is the movie where it's like, if you sacrifice love and nurture for pushing your offspring as hard as you can to be good at something, they will become literally the best in the world at that thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing as well. I think, one of them has, I think Serena has a book and, like, talks very positively about her father in it because he still coaches them.
He's still alive.
Yeah. Yeah, it is interesting as well because the film very much focuses on him getting Venus onto the world stage kind of thing, and the film has this moment at the end where Serena's like, you know, why have you like focused on my sister so much? And he's like, and he says something.
He
along the
says,
lines of,
I
like,
want Venus to be the first player to reach this level, but
Yeah.
I want you to be the best in the whole world,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, to be the greatest. Well, no, he's like, I want Venus to be the greatest player on Earth. I want you to be the greatest in history, and that's kind of what happened. Like, Serena is considered the better player generally, and considered one of, if not the greatest tennis players in history.
One thing I would like to ask our actor/friend Aaron for an actor perspective. Bro, when was the last time you saw Will Smith acting? And I'm not talking about when was the last time he was in a movie.
You saw Will Smith appear in something.
No, I'm saying, like, when was the last time you saw Will Smith, first of all, be in a good movie, but secondly, like, actually playing a specific character and not just charismatic Will Smith on screen?
Yeah, that's true. I'm trying to think. Maybe like
Aladdin.
Yeah, famously not a Will Smithian role.
maybe like I Am Legend. Is that?
But even that, it's like he's still doing his regular.
Well, I guess
accent.
that again you come to.
There's that Concussion movie in 2015.
Yeah.
Oh, with the jellyfish, he kills himself with the jellyfish.
The Concussion movie with the jellyfish. I have no idea what you guys are
I
talking
think you
about.
think he's 7 pounds.
Yes, I am. Yeah, again, you come back to this idea of what is performing and what is acting and what is like good acting. Because clearly, like, this is a transformative role, which is necessary because if you're going to play someone in real life, you kind of have to adopt their mannerisms. There are like a few examples of people like actively not doing that and that being a thing, like probably
Taika Waititi playing Hitler and Jojo Rabbit.
Yeah. But even then, he has like a Nazi, not a Nazi accent, a German accent.
Nazi accents. Sorry.
Sorry, Freudian slip. No, I do not mean that at all. Like probably the only
Cuba Gooding Jr. and the OJ TV series.
Yeah, or like There's a famous New Zealand comedian, Fred Dagg, who
Oh, yeah.
John Clark, who moved over to Australia, and famously they did like a sketch show every Friday night, which was like them impersonating politicians, but they never like put on any accents, never did any like things. So yeah, I guess it's it's a very interesting question of like, ultimately, I guess the thing is you have to ask yourself is like, how effective is the performance to me versus like, oh, he's doing this. And again, that's kind of a nebulous thing to say, right? Like, how does it feel to me? Because it's like, well, how can you judge someone on that when it's like so personal?
Like, how would you compare this to like his role in Spies in Disguise?
I'm not familiar with W. Smith.
Turned into a pigeon.
Well, then I would say probably on par, equal. Equally transformative.
One thing that's funny about this kind of film that I always
You
fall
saw
for-
him transform into a pigeon.
Exactly.
Now he's transforming into King Richard.
You've seen him play a pigeon.
One thing that like it's like I always like fall for it and like get fully invested is like when you watch a movie with like this really sort of idiosyncratic weird performance, and then they show you clips of the real guy at the end, and you're like, oh my god, he's just like him.
Yeah, hard. Yeah.
I think that this is one of the more Oscar-y films of the
Absolutely, yeah.
lineup this year. I think it's very biopic-y. There is, ladies and gentlemen, a scene where he's arguing with his wife and his children. Oh no, the children can hear. They're over on the steps of the staircase listening to him argue with his wife, which is a prerequisite for if you're making a biopic.
Yeah.
And I think, despite all that,
There
it's
needs
like
to be a moment where he like decided to call them Venus and Serena. That's all was missing.
I think despite all that, like, these scenes are cliche in Oscar films because they are still kind of effective, and I enjoyed this movie quite a bit. You know, not in a way where I'm gunning for it to get Best Picture, but in a way that's like, I felt like I was watching some really good work when I chucked it on.
Yeah.
Where would you put this in your tier ranking?
Lower tier.
Lower tier? And Dune, I don't think we asked.
Dune would be upper tier.
It's pronounced Dune.
Dune.
Dune. Yeah, it's an interesting. You bring up that scene. I think maybe the work of the actress who plays his wife is maybe a little bit underrated in that movie, because I thought, particularly in that scene, she sort of does dominate the scene in a way.
Yeah, that's Orange Alice, by the way.
Yeah.
I was also looking up King Richard, but I couldn't click on the Wikipedia link because my top results were King Richard watch online free, King Richard 1, 2, 3 movies, King Richard Footlocker, and I couldn't. I was like, where the hell is this?
Sorry, and you're saying?
What was I going to say? Yeah, you're right. It is like a very classic biopic kind of a movie. We get the beats, we understand how it works, but what kind of raises it, and I guess what is why people get Oscars for these kinds of things, is it's like it's an opportunity for you to take this material, and sometimes it falls flat, and that's when you get like biopics that don't get nominated for Oscars, and then other times, you know, actors take these roles and these opportunities, these performances, and they elevate what is otherwise probably a pretty average script into being like actually a good movie because of the performance rather than the material.
Good point.
Fun little fact about, I'm sure a lot of people know this, but about the Williams sisters. Do you know who Serena Williams is married to?
No.
The guy that founded Reddit.
What?
Yeah. Random.
That's crazy.
Oh, Reddit?
Reddit.
Alexis Onahan. I think I can't remember how it was last time, but
What
like a two
crazy
like,
couple.
What? Yeah, like I would never think of those two people
Yeah.
together, but yeah, they've got a kid.
Is he super wealthy, presumably?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's not why she married him, but
No. But you know, like in terms of how they've
in
got
the same
together,
circles,
yeah.
I think although from memory, he stood down from his like CEO position in Reddit during 2020 as one of, like, you know, it should be a person of color in his position. One of the people sort of stood down, being like, I actually don't feel right being a cis white man in this role.
So what are this one's odds to win Best Picture? This feels like it could sneak in and get it. It's that kind of film,
so of the top 5, So June is top of the bottom 5. This is bottom of the top 5. So 33 to 1 odds. What do we think of? This is one of our first of the big sort of awards that it possibly stands a chance. So Will Smith for Best Actor. He's up against Javier Bardem for being the Ricardos as Desi, Benedict Cumberbatch for Power of the Dog, Andrew Garfield, Tick Tick Boom, and Denzel Washington in Tragedy Macbeth.
I think he could win this.
Yeah, it'd be between him and
that's not
and
a particularly
Benedict
staggering
Cumberbatch.
lineup to me. Yeah. Benedict Cumberbatch is good, but I don't think his performance is what makes Power of the Dog so powerful or dog-like.
Very good.
But then, when you're talking about performative transformation, they're both examples of transformation, like Benedict Cumberbatch's role and then Will Smith's role. And also they're examples of work as well. I think we've talked about this many times before on the podcast, is that one of the things the Oscars rewards is actors who look like they've done a lot of work on this.
Acting, yeah.
But yeah, I would say that Benedict Cumberbatch has that because it's clear that he went away and learned the banjo for 6 months
and improved his accent, American accent.
But Will Smith's got an interesting accent,
and a hunch.
Yeah, and his physical mannerisms are different. But then, on the other hand,
I think Will Smith is doing the most obvious acting out of any of those.
Yeah.
Will Smith is the favorite according to this betting odds, by the way.
I'd probably give it to Garfield personally out of those.
The cat,
not Andrew Garfield, the cat. Yeah. He hated Mondays, and I believed it.
I really liked Andrew Garfield's performance in Tick Tick Boom, and there's maybe a couple of films I would have nominated Tick Tick Boom over. Personally,
like this one, for example.
yeah. If I was to list them, this would be on the list. I don't know. It is a good movie. I will say it is a good movie.
Mm-hmm. What else is it nominated for?
That's a good question. It's nominated for 1, 2, 3, 6 awards. Best Picture, Best Actor for Will Smith. Ingenue Alice is nominated for Best Supporting Actress, the wife.
Well, underrated my ass, Sarah.
It's fucking overrated.
True. Why don't you read the Best Supporting Actress categories, Aaron?
Thought you were an actor/friend. Turns out you're neither.
certainly
no friend to the actress category.
Best Film Editing, original screenplay, and original song for a song by Beyonce.
Who else is up for Best Actress, Best Supporting Actress?
I thought you were going to ask song. I already had that page open now. I have to fucking go back.
It's psych!
Supporting Actress. All right, you've got Jessie Buckley for The Lost Daughter. And she plays the young version of Olivia Colman's character in that film. And it's the third time that actors have been nominated for playing the same character in the same film. Ariana DeBose from West Side Story, who's one of 2 openly LGBT actors to be nominated this year, along with Kristen Stewart. First time ever that there's been more than one nominated. Judi Dench as Granny in Belfast, and that, again, a pretty small role. Kirsten Dunst in The Power of the Dog, and Ingenue Alice in King Richard. Kirsten Dunst, I would say. Got that. I would probably say Kirsten. I don't know. This year, I haven't been seeing as much buzz. Most years, especially the acting ones, are it's going to this person, and this person. And for the fourth one, maybe it could be this or this person. This year, a lot of them, they're not as set in stone as they normally are, which is good. It makes it more exciting, obviously. But as for Best Original Song, which is, where was that page? Oh yeah, so Belfast, Van Morrison wrote a new song for that, but it's all Van Morrison songs in that. Encanto is nominated for Dos Uruguitas, which is not the song, but
song I do not remember from Encanto.
Yeah, obviously they didn't realize how big We Don't Talk About Bruno was going to be. They are performing We Don't Talk About Bruno at the ceremony as hey, Penance. Kids, we know you like this. A film called 4 Good Days is a song by Dan Warren called Somehow You Do. Be Alive from King Richard. But what will probably win this is No Time to Die by Billie Eilish, which will have been out over 2 years when it wins, which is a funny little thing because of the pandemic.
Funny little thing because of the pandemic. New book title.
A funny thing happened on the way to the pandemic.
Cool. All
Yeah, so
right.
that's King
Well,
Richard.
yeah, and this has been our Oscars cheat sheet mini-series podcast where we talked about King Richard.
Been 5 of them, yeah.
Well, check out the other ones. And if you liked this episode, please also consider following us on Instagram and Twitter, emailing us at cultpopturemedia@gmail.com, or joining the Discord, which there's a link to in the show notes. You can actually let us know why King Richard will sweep the awards, even the ones it's not nominated for. That's just the Venus and Serena Williams work ethic.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can let us know all of that over at those links, or you can throw us some money over at patreon.com/cultpopture. Richard, King Richard, what is the next film we're going to talk about?
Well, we're not recording it for a couple of days, so we'll have to remember that we're going to be talking about... I've lost the page I was looking at. Lost the page. Alright, we're going to talk about... West Side Story.
I cannot wait. See you then, everybody.